He simply thinks that whatever he is good, you know. How could he be a hypocrite? And so Jarrell, you know, if Jarrell were alive, I would send him my epigram books because I feel he would get what I was doing. But also, he's like profligate in this abundance of what he can do. Maybe I just can't do it as much as some of these writers. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe my use of white space is a form of self-defense. I don't know.
The epigram about source amnesia.
Oh yes, source amnesia.
Does it come from personal experience?
Source amnesia, as when you offer a sexual surprise to your lover, she asks, "Where did you learn that?" Okay, that comes because I saw the phrase somewhere, source amnesia. So now I've heard a phrase that's new to me. So then I start to think, well, how would I define it to someone? And of course, those of us who have been bachelors and have dated more than one woman at a time, you may know something of this, Victor.
You did?
You did? Victor, I can't believe you would do such a thing.
Oh, well,
so that, you know, sometimes you actually have to be a little careful what move you introduce into what situation. I thought, I'll try to build an epigram out of this. So, but it starts with hearing this phrase, source amnesia, and my laughing to think, what could that possibly mean? How would I define that if someone asked me? And so I'm defining it. Source amnesia as when you offer a sexual surprise to your lover, she asks, "Where did you learn that?" Kathy, I want to thank you, you know, for your kind words that we used as a blurb on the back of the jacket, and you called attention to the phrase, riddled with perfection. And I want to read just the paragraph. Head on pillow. It all happened for a reason, the epigrammist mutters, marveling that people can believe such things. And drifting off to sleep, he thinks, riddled with perfections, expecting when he wakes to write it down. And of course, what I was playing with was the way we know that phrase is riddled with imperfections.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, riddled itself just means tattered and ragged and uncertain, right. And perfection means just the opposite.
To turn the phrase around and reawakens us to the idiom, and then maybe takes us to someplace exciting and new, to be riddled with perfection.
Exactly.
So that was, yeah.
Well, that's what I love about your writing, because just about every one of these is like a splash of cold water. Because it's unexpected, it turns things around. Also, they are epigrams to be read with a group.
Yes.
We did this the other day. There were 4 or 5 people driving to Nevada, and we read them out loud. And everybody was affected by them differently. Everyone had a different interpretation. Everyone took them in some different way. Where is the one about 2 breasts in the hand?
1957. Mantra of a 13-year-old boy. A breast in the hand is worth 2 in the bra.
Well, it seems very forthright and matter of fact, but it could be 2 breasts or 2 hands. And so that led to a lot of discussion.
Yes.
You know, it's just, every one of these opened up into individual interpretation.
That's shocking. That gives it more complexity than I had imagined.
Well, are you happy with people reinterpreting?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just the vehicle of the muse, and I wasn't. And my vehicle wasn't even a van going to Nevada. No, that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, it's true that working in such a narrow form or a tight, constrained form, you often don't see its reverberations.
If you read Bierce or Wilde or Nietzsche or any of them, there's nothing really happy about the epigram. You don't get many exclamation marks or smile faces. They seem to be a more...
Yeah, Bierce was a peculiarly bitter man. And he, as I say, he erased himself. He was such an epigrammist that he shortened himself to nothing. He just disappears one day, right? But definitely that European tradition of the epigram is tart, ironic, really a form of defense of the individual against common misunderstanding or common untruth. Yeah.
Yeah, hallmark sentiment.
Yes. There's one that I like so much because it got said something I had to get said. Jeez, what an elusive epigram. These are harder to find than to write.
Oh, that's an epigram.
The hyperbolist choking. superlative stuck in the craw of his better self. And I was actually thinking of a real person who I referred to in the essay at the end, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's a well-known PBS self-improver. And he writes in one of his introduction to one of his books, he's written 30 books, Wayne spent one entire year reading, researching, and meditating on Lao Tzu's messages, and ultimately writing down these essays as he felt Lao Tzu wanted you to know them. As Wayne says, this is a book that will forever change the way you look at your life. Writing this book changed me forever too. And I go on to say, forever. How clean the stables of such talk.
That's
okay,
wonderful.
So, but I wasn't done with him. He had affronted me. And in a world of people like him, what do you do? So I wrote, okay, so it's hyperbole to begin with, forever. And hyperbole kills you. I mean, there could be a whole category called death by hyperbole. Right? So the hyperbolist, so I imagine what could happen to someone who uses too many hyperboles of the kind I just did. The hyperbolist choking. And what would he choke of? A superlative stuck in the craw of his better self. Because craw is one of those good, honest words.
It is,
right?
definitely.
And so it's the opposite of a hyperbole. Right? So.
And you could have actually stopped at craw, but you went even better, and you used his better self.
I escalated, by insisting he had a better self. You're right. The hyperbolist choking,
that's wonderful.
superlative stuck in the craw of what? His better self.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, he pissed me off big time.
Well, that was interesting, because I was going to ask you how you come to write certain epigrams, and obviously Dyer irritated you, and you then went and did this. Is that the usual?
No, it's not. It's often not so direct. Sometimes it's just wordplay. I hear an idiom, I'm reawakened to that. But sometimes, it is a provocation in the world, this whole New Age stuff. And the fact that New Age people and Buddhists, I might add, write so many, many books about how to improve your life forever, that you want to just get out a shovel and start doing your best in the stables.
I had one thought that struck me. Oh, this one right here. This one seems a little bit different.
Where is right here?
Not 49.
Thank you. I was going to get on my Ouija board.
Most of them are concise within themselves, but this one about the old, something's coming, 1,000, 2, 1,000. That seems like a different thought.
The old, something's coming. 1,000, 2, 1,000. And the way it is, like in a child's game, you count presumably to 10.
Yeah.
And it's over. Yeah. And so is that what the old are doing? They're counting 1,000 and they know it's actually pretty finite. Yeah. Yeah, it isn't going to go to 1 million, is it? No.
Do you dream in epigrams?
No, but I have thoughts, and I get up. I have pen and paper. And I have two categories of night thoughts. Dread and dreader. that's not true.
So I was really intrigued by the wordplay and the investigation to the roots of words and how words evolve. In particular, on page 13.
Masturbation, from the Greek mensa, penises, and the Latin tubare, to disturb, or from the Latin mano stupare, to defile with the hand. Manustupration, infrequently used term for the ubiquitous incessant.
So how do you begin to build an epigram like that?
I guess like many people, I've always thought that the word masturbation made something clinical out of, something that was a lot nicer than that. Do all languages get stuck with this Latinate term? And self-pleasuring came in there like in the 70s or 80s, and seemed to me a very ideological effort to get a warmer and fuzzier term. So I guess the word masturbation has never ceased to sound to me too weighty for the phenomenon or too clinical for the phenomenon.
Do you cross-reference different reference books, or is there one particular dictionary you turn to?
Webster's second, the big, huge thing you used to see in libraries. My mom's dictionary. That's my Bible.